Welcome to Authentic with Brazil 201. Merry Christmas. Well, I guess Christmas is over. I guess pre-Happy New Year. And this episode is about Stranger Things Season 5, Volume 3. 3 episodes have dropped, and I gotta just say, welcome to Episode 6, secured at least Sadie Sink's Emmy nomination. I do not know if she will win, and I'll explain that first before we go into the spoilers of episodes 5, 6, and 7 of season 5 and our final things of Stranger Things and what worked and what did not work. I want to just say a lot worked. But before that, we're gonna go episode 6 here. Just key thing with the Sadie Sink's performance of her and Holly. And I was kind of mad that season 5 has mostly been the Holly and Max show. There is a scene in season 6 before they go back to the real world where their bodies are. That is like a 2-3 minute monologue between the two of them. And I am almost certain of the post Stranger Things arc of all of these. And remember, the kids, the quote unquote, the kids are only all 23, 24, right? We know Sadie Sinks is Jean Grey in Spider Man 4, and she's clearly going to be a key part of the Marvel Universe going forward. But this sequence, this 3 minute monologue she does, secured her Emmy nomination, at least for Best Drama Lead Actress. Or so I don't know how they'll do it. I don't think she's a lead in the show. I guess she'll be supporting because the way it works is, at least for lead, like most likely, is Zendaya will get nominated for Euphoria, Ella Parnell will get nominated for Fallout. One of the industry girls will get nominated for industry, and someone on the pit will get nominated, as well as Rye for Pluribus, right? And that seems to be the general consensus as like who's going to get nominated. I don't know how they'll be on leading or supporting, and the way the Emmys like to do it is they want to reward a show that's ending, right? So Zendaya and Sadie Sink are most likely going to be rewarded. In general, their shows will be rewarded for, being shows that, shape the culture, right? Ironically, is these shows both came out around the same time, like when they first came out, and it took a decade for them to end, and the strikes and the COVID and all the delays, right? But Euphoria and Stranger Things are masterpieces. We don't have to talk about Euphoria here, but we are going to talk about Stranger Things. So when we come back with episode 5, um, Will is a mage, and he can tap into the minds of everybody. And their idea is if we can resurrect the Demigorgon with a lot of heat, we can tap in the mind and we can see through Vecna and we can see where everyone is. Will does that, and he sees dipshit Derek. But before that happens is when all the children wake up, Derek notices Holly isn't really buying Mr. What's His bullshit. So he follows Holly to find Max, and Max is like, "Who the fuck are you?" And I was like, "I'm delightful, Derek." And Will told me everything about Vecna and all of this, and like, yeah, I'm best friends with Will and Lucas, and God, Miss Robin, and all of it, and it's adorable, and they come up with the plan so they can escape and all of it, and it's great. What happens is then Will launches into Vecna's mind, and everything fucking happens. And a lot of the shit is crazy because what happens is Vecna almost kills Max, but Will's able to just block it enough. But Max thinks, oh, it's 11 who does it. And then we see Callie and this whole situation that apparently the military has enough of Elle's blood and Callie's blood that you're trying to make more, future, spy kids and all of it. The Upside Down crew, which is fucking Steve, Jonathan, Nancy, and Dustin, see this book, and we're in the Thor 2, Thor the Dark World situation where there's a giant ball of energy, and they kind of see the light, but at the same time, we think it's we the viewer think it's the electricity from the tower, because at the same time in the real world they're electrocuting the Demigorgon, and they blew the fuse to kill the Demigorgon. So we think, oh, it's the Squawk Tower, and that they're seeing the light thing happen as we see whenever the Upside Down and the real world share like electricity. Nancy shoots it, and a bunch of silver goo comes out, and I'm kind of confused with the whole silver goo situation of everything, because The goo melts metal, but they're covered in the goo, so they're not melting. And this is the only part that's bothered me because of the whole science of what the metal goo is and this exotic matter and blah 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 blah. And Dustin and Steve fight because Dustin's like, you, I mean, Steve is like, you just won't get over Eddie's death. You think Eddie was such a hero, but you're forgetting about what Eddie's life was before he interacted with Dolph, so that he was a giant fuck up and he was a loser and all that. And just because his final moments in life were powerful, that doesn't make him good and valid. Very valid, by the way, on that. And they fight, they split up, and it's it is what it is on that part. Jonathan and Nancy have this whole conversation, and Nancy's like, "I don't want Steve. Yes, he has great hair. Yes, he's more attractive than you, and but Steve knows exactly what he wants, and I don't know what I want." And Jonathan's like, I was gonna propose to you, and then he does his whole speech like, how about we not propose? Because it seems like Nancy's gonna choose herself. She's not gonna choose either of them, which is great because it seemed like they were gonna die. But then Steve and Dustin rescue them in the metal goo prison that stopped melting everything for whatever reason, so that happens. Then Vecna sends the Demigorgon after Max's real body because he's able to hijack Will's mind. So, um, that happens, and what is it? Fucking. While that's happening, and Max has no idea her body is about to die or get attacked, but Lucas is at the hospital playing, running up that hill trying to get it, and at the same time, Karen wakes up because the military is now at the hospital and they're trying to arrest Robin for stealing benzos and a bunch of other shit, and Robin talks to her girlfriend about everything. And then they see the Demigorgons. The Demigorgons kill the military people. Good for them. And the Demigorgons are chasing Max. But you know, Lucas has the body, and then the amazing monologue sequence happens, and oh, somehow fucking Karen puts in oxygen tanks in the laundry machine in the basement to kill the Demigorgons. That all happens, and finally, after Max wakes up from the coma, everybody's back together, and this is when Stranger Things is the best. And it matter took 7 episodes for everyone to get together because the show is really at its best when everyone is together. And I understand from a production standpoint, it is very hard to film a show with 20 people in the same scene at the same time. It is a fucking nightmare. Okay, this is also why a lot of people hoping that in the new Avengers movies everyone's going to be together. That is not going to happen for at least longer than a week. Because to do a sequence like that, like in Avengers Endgame when everyone was together when they fought Thanos, it is hard to get everyone in the same place. It is a fucking nightmare in how you shoot it and coverages and all of it. So I understand from a production standpoint why they're constantly split off into groups of 4 or 5. But the show just works better when everyone is together. And on the Upside Down, Holly is falling from the sky because apparently Vecna is in this other world, which is the world before the Upside Down. And Holly's jump, Nancy hears Holly. She sees Holly levitate in the air, and then Holly gets trapped back and sent back into the mine prison. And Holly, being what's it called? A wheeler, she fucking starts beating the shit out of all the children in the prison world. And dipshit Derek doesn't want to help anymore because Vecna got his mind and showed all his Republican family getting, killed and shit. So now dipshit Derek is scared and in his place. And Holly's just like, why is no one helping me? And she fights people. But, I gotta say, the girl playing Holly, like, really is, like, such a strong actress. And, like, I'm mad the show she's been a lot of focus of it on. But, yeah. And now we're in 7 episodes in, right? None of the main kids have died. Nobody important has died yet in the show. And this is the fucking one key problem with the Stranger Things is, look, they're probably going to kill Callie. I don't care. I do think she should die. I guess they're going to fucking kill Elle as well. Because according to, like, what the show's hint is that as long as they're alive and the blood is around, they're going to be able to just keep making more super children. And that's the fucking problem. So if I were to guess, Callie and Elle are going to die. And maybe, I guess, Mike. Not Mike. Will also kind of has to die as well because Will has powers and whatever in this whole situation. So, but I think half of them's got to die. Okay, not Max though. Also, it just seems like Max is such a level above everybody in terms of like the acting. I guess you got to kill one of the teenagers, right? But you can't have Mrs. Meyer. You can't have Joyce. lose both her kids, right? So this is the fucking situation, right? So like, are we gonna kill Steve? Are we gonna kill Robin? Like, who are we gonna fucking kill? Are we gonna kill Vicky? This is such a odd situation because I just kind of want half of them to die. Because now this is how the episode 7 ends. I didn't even realize it was ending because I got really mad when I saw the credits blow. And I understand the season finale's next week, series finale. Wow, 2 hours long, but everyone is together in the truck in the Upside Down. Everybody's together, so we're getting it. Everybody is fucking together. They're gonna go and they're gonna try to go to the netherworld to rescue the children because he's trying to merge Earths and do Thor the Dark World and everything. It's fucking crazy. Okay. Listen, episode 6, right, is as good as what is the episode where Max almost dies in season 4? It is on par with that, and it made me tear up. Okay, I was fucking bawling. Okay, I was just so upset. Oh, and Will comes out in season 7, and everyone's like, "Yo, we knew you were gay. It's very obvious, and we still love you." Of course, good for 1989. Very progressive at the moment. Anyway, that was it. I fucking, that's it. I loved it. It's sad the show's gonna end. We're never gonna have a show culturally as good as this. With Stranger Things ending, and Euphoria ending, and Succession's gone. Like, yeah, Fallout, Landman, and I want to say Pluribus are probably our 3, and The Pit, right, are probably our power shows. But like, what's a show that's going to go on for 5 or 6 seasons that has such a cultural impact, right? Because look at that, Stranger Things took a decade to get to this point, right? And we love season 1. We love seasons 1 through 3 came out pretty much on time, and then like the disappearance because of COVID, and the kids come back and they look like adults, and then the strikes. Now the kids come back and they are all adults, and Nancy's hot, like super fucking hot. There we go.